You're watching Spectrum News 13 at noon. I'm Curtis McLeod, where we continue to follow some breaking news right now in Osceola County, where Sheriff Marcos Lopez has been arrested. Now, Governor Ron DeSantis has officially suspended Lopez just minutes ago, and he appointed Christopher Blackmon as his replacement. Blackmon is the Central Region Chief for the Florida Highway Patrol. Attorney General James Uthmeier said an investigation uncovered a criminal organization that was operating an illegal gambling enterprise in Central Florida. Now, we've learned that Homeland Security and the Florida Department of Law Enforcement worked on information they received several months ago. I want to go ahead and continue coverage right now as we have our Jordan Meade live in Osceola County right now with the very latest details. She's been getting information about all of this throughout the afternoon. Jordan, tell us what you've learned so far.
Well, first and foremost, we are learning right now that former Osceola County Sheriff Marcos Lopez was arrested relating to a massive gambling operation happening here throughout Central Florida. Now, he is being charged with both conspiracy to commit racketeering along with racketeering, and that's a federal charge. And investigators are telling us that this actually stems back all the way to 2023. Now, I had the opportunity this morning to speak with a spokesperson from the Osceola County Sheriff's Office, and he told me that right now they are just in complete shock over this arrest of Marcos Lopez as they learn more information about this as well. And there are a lot of parts going forward on how this will affect not only the Sheriff's Department, but also the entire community. Now, Marcos Lopez, if you don't know, has been the Sheriff of Osceola County since 2021. He's been with the Sheriff's Department since 2003, and he actually made history as the first Hispanic sheriff in the county and the state of Florida, according to the Sheriff's Department's website. So as we continue to learn more information about what led up to this arrest and about what is going to happen moving forward with former Sheriff now Marcos Lopez, we do know that Governor Ron DeSantis and his office have actually named Christopher Blackmon to serve as the Osceola County Sheriff as everyone navigates the situation moving forward. Live in downtown Orlando, Jordan Meade, Spectrum News.
All right, Jordan, thank you so much for that live report. There's still so much more that we are working to learn about this investigation, of course, and the arrest of Osceola County Sheriff Marcos Lopez. For breaking updates throughout the day, download the free Spectrum News app, turn on those notifications, and you will get the very latest as soon as it comes into our newsroom. All right, employees at the Women's Center of Brevard are cleaning up thousands of dollars in damage. We're learning that vandals destroyed their office in Melbourne. The center has been open for 50 years, providing support, safety, and hope to domestic violence, sexual assault, and trauma survivors. Someone ransacked their office last week. Nearly every room, we are learning, was damaged. Computers, they of course smashed, graffiti, picture frames broken, holes punched in walls, door frames, and a chair crushed into a wall.
Just going through and just pure destruction and through offices, through our hallways, and it just doesn't make any sense.
The group has moved to a temporary location on Sarno Road, just a couple of miles away. They will provide client services there and continue operating at their Julia Street office in Titusville. All right, Florida lawmakers voted this morning to extend the 2025 legislative session yet again. Now, the vote to extend till June 18th comes as lawmakers continue their work on the Florida state budget. All right, Spectrum News 13's Jason Delgado. He's joining us live right now. And Jason, what can you tell us right now? We know that there is a lot going on with all of this as they are now learning. We're learning they're extending the legislative session once again.
Yeah, they sure are. And look, that wasn't the only business happening here at the Capitol today. Lawmakers also introduced two new initiatives, one that seeks out to try and go ahead to lower the state debt. The other would bolster up the state's emergency rainy day fund. That said, there's still plenty unfinished business here in Tallahassee. Top of mind, tax breaks. Lawmakers agree on a $900 million cut targeting commercial leases. On the other hand, lawmakers have yet to land on a tax break for Florida families. The goal is a permanent $350 million cut, though the big question is how. Like maybe they'll just double down on more tax holidays.
The storm preparedness and maybe back to school, something along those lines, and imagine being able to make those recurring and expanding them from 2 weeks to a month or something and give Floridians more access to it.
Again, session is extended through June 18th. That said, leadership is optimistic they can wrap up maybe a little earlier. The ideal date is somewhere around June 16th. I'm Jason Delgado here in the Capitol, Spectrum News.
All right, Jason, thank you so much for that live report from Tallahassee. President Donald Trump is banning travelers from a dozen countries beginning Monday. Those countries include Afghanistan, Iran, Yemen, and the Congo. Trump says some of the factors here for that ban include security concerns, not being able to properly vet people from those places. Now, according to a White House official, the president made the final decision following Sunday's anti-Semitic attack in Boulder, Colorado. The proclamation also partially restricts people entering the U.S. from 7 other countries, including Cuba and Venezuela. All right, President Trump has also signed a proclamation to suspend international visas for new students at Harvard University. It's part of an effort to block foreigners from enrolling at the elite university. The proclamation suspends the entry of any new Harvard student who is not an immigrant under F, M, or J visas into the U.S. It directs Secretary of State Marco Rubio to consider revoking existing visas for current Harvard students who meet the proclamation's criteria. All right, this afternoon we are monitoring 2 votes from St. Pete City Council. Both have to do with Tropicana Field, where we know the Rays play. The city is deciding whether to spend an additional $1 million and then some to repair and protect the stadium. That's on top of what they've already agreed to spend. Another vote would be focused on roof repairs. We see in the video there, of course, that facility sustaining significant repairs from this hurricane. Here's a breakdown of what they're looking to approve. Remediation and protective work would be an additional $1.6 million on top of what they've already agreed on. City council members are considering this added cost, which is not supposed to go over $5.6 million. The other item on the agenda is dealing with roof repairs that would cost $2.3 million. Remember, we got to this point, as I mentioned, after Hurricane Milton ripped off the roof of the Trop last October, damaging the structure and the inside of the stadium. Now, after the incident, the city released this timeline for field repairs, roof repair, mobilization, which is supposed to start around now, according to the city, will include things like pre-construction designs. The city is also expecting pieces of the new roof to start arriving sometime in August. Okay, there are some upcoming missions planned to the moon and even to Mars. We're going to have those details for you coming up. But first, I'm going to go ahead and send things over to dual certified meteorologist Chris Gilson to talk a little bit about how things are shaping up outside. Chris.
Clouds finally breaking up. We're starting to see a little bit more in the way of sunshine. We'll time out today's rain chances, and we're tracking some hotter temperatures for your weekend. Details on that when we come back with your weather on the ones.